All right, welcome to Relentless Podcast. We have three different people here with three different interesting stories, and we're going to go over them all today. We're going to talk a little bit about business, talk about a little bit of marketing, sales, and how we get the delivery of our projects and businesses completed. I'll start with you. We'll introduce ourselves, and then we'll just keep going around the room. I'll go reverse counterclockwise. So Jordan, we'll start with you.
I'm Jordan Lulu, Best Buy Furniture. We've been in business for about 25 years. My father started the business. That's how me and Sam know each other. I came in around 16 years old and just really brought in a different perspective into the business itself and the industry of itself, and really digital forward, right? So social media, and we did a bunch of different stuff, and most importantly is pivoting within the trends, right? Social media changes all the time. The form of content changes all the time. The way we engage with content changes. So when I first came on, it was really long form content, like 3-minute videos were like, Reels didn't exist, TikTok didn't exist. So short form wasn't even existing. So being able to pivot into, what's trending right now and the form of content and engaging with people. So like right now I would say, it's very, very short form content. The hook, you have 3 seconds to capture someone in their moments, and just staying consistent, like what Sam does also. He does a great job at his marketing. He's consistent, he's posting every single day, he's aware, he's the face of his brand, he's giving people, that accountability and responsibility that, hey, I am the owner, I'm here on site every single day, you got a problem, talk to me, right? Rather than just like a big business that's advertising and there's not really someone that is reliable or responsible. So I would just say that, digital, social media, Facebook, Instagram. A lot of people sleep on Facebook. Facebook is huge. It's a lot of the older generations on it, and even my generation's still on it. But it's a platform that is definitely slept on. I think live shopping right now is pretty big. We haven't really gotten onto it just yet, but TikTok shop and whatnot, and a lot of this stuff is just trying out different things. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I'm going to stop you for a sec. So live shop is like the next way to beat Amazon. So in China, it's $1 billion industry right now. If you go on Alibaba, you'll see those guys and gals are doing live shopping every single day.
Kim Kardashian just released like a revolution. Like a lot of people just do like with their phone and they're like behind like some weird wall, but like she actually did like a reality show which was live selling. She had Snoop Dogg appear, she had other live guests on, and like it was revolutionary. Honestly, it was crazy.
That's amazing. There's another site or app.
Whatnot.
So Whatnot. Did you see Whatnot?
No, not yet.
You gotta check out Whatnot.
Yeah, you said it's on.
Yeah.
It's an app.
Well, we'll keep it going.
Yeah. So, my name's Rob. I have JSR Supreme Services. So we do junk removal. We just got started. Been in business, I want to say, for about 6 months now. Earlier this year, I came with an idea. I said, hey, listen, I feel like we just gotta figure out something to get out of this matrix. So I decided to start my business, started getting on social media, and just trying to figure out new ways on how to promote, just following different business starter owners and all as well. I seen Sam and I said, hey, I gotta show up to one of these meetings. So pulled up, and now here we are right now, just trying to learn some more,
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Brian Schultz. I work for Sam & Mueller. We manufacture the best shower walls in the industry. Solid surface shower walls. We manufacture shower doors, shower floors. We manufacture cabinetry, kitchen cabinetry, bathroom vanity cabinetry, quartz surfacing. All the pieces that go into the bathroom remodel business is what we manufacture.
Awesome. All right, so we'll go through kind of how I met everybody real quick. I met Jordan. Obviously, I've used his company 1,000 times, and they're really, really efficient, and they always give you great value and great pricing, because I'm pretty cheap and able to get things at a good price. And hey, it was I met his dad first years and years ago, and then obviously I seen him coming up in the business, and I see a star, right? I see the guy's a superstar. He's out there hustling, he's figuring things out, he's making the digital scene happen for him and the store and his family, and I see a lot of growth potential, more than what his dad had already started, because obviously his dad started the business on his back and Jordan's taking it to the next level. which I really appreciate. That's why I have him here today. When I'm getting in our room, get in our area, and again, being in the right rooms with the right people, that's the only thing you got to do to level up. And you start to see their different ideas. You hear different things you never heard before, like whatnot. And you start to look into it and go, okay, you know what, I got this. It might not be today or tomorrow, but one night you're just going to wake up and go, you know what, I'm going to start doing X, Y, and Z, and then you start doing it. Next thing you know, start making money for it, monetizing it, and that's what it's all about. So for JSR, I see a young, hungry man growing up, ready to rock and roll, right?
Very much.
Oh yeah, and I see a lot of energy. So like that room, there's a lot of energy. They were serious though. Like I've been in rooms like with realtors and all, and it's drinking going on, and they're just, it's fun and whatever, but there's nothing good coming out of it because there's no energy. They really don't want to get to that next level. They just want to hang out with their friends. So there's definitely a difference between hanging out with your friends and getting shit done, right? So I can tell already you're a guy that wants to get shit done and grow. And, I think just watching other people grow and then seeing what they're doing is going to help you do what you need to do and get to that next level. So again, everything's a scale, everything's a journey. You always start at X and you end at Z. And how you get there is the whole reason you do it. Not just, hey, the end goal is this. It's no, you got to enjoy the moment too. Because in the beginning, I'm like, oh my God, I got no money, but I need to do this, this, and this. At the time, I'm like, I just want to be here. But then when you get there, you're like, no, that's not. It's actually the journey. So it's like, wow, I actually did that to get here. Like, you respect that. Yeah. So, and as for Brian, phenomenal person. When I went to, started, this one-day bathroom journey like 3 years ago, all off of Facebook, by the way. What happened there was a guy on Facebook said a pretty awesome comment and said, he sold his business for like $100 million. And of course, you always get negative people, right? And those negative people never do well. So what had happened was, I got a negative comment. He goes, no way you do this. This dude's a loser, just trying to brag. I'm like, I didn't take it as a brag comment. So different people see that as a brag comment, or different people see that as someone's going to rise you up. So I go, maybe he did do it. So me, I used to be a police officer. So I started digging into it. I go, oh my God, this guy did sell his company for $100 million. Oh, and he was doing 500 bathrooms a month. And this guy's an idiot. So before I even did it, I said, yo man, take the point he said. I couldn't remember what the point was on how to grow your business. Take that part of it. Who cares about the other part of it? And why say something negative? If you have something, my mom always taught me, if you have something not nice to say, just don't say nothing at all, right? So why do you have to say something? Because you're hating, right? And if you're hating, hate just starts to come back to you. But if you're positive starts to come back to you. And that's what I've always done. You'll never see me saying nothing negative, especially on Facebook, about anybody. You'll never see me put a negative review on anyone's stuff. I just don't do that.
I mean, someone that's doing great in their life, they're not gonna.
No.
They're not gonna hate. It's someone who's doing really terribly in his life and he hates his life. They can't even fathom and say oh, this guy's driving this car and doing this and doing all these things. They can't comprehend it, and they think either he's a liar or he's a scam, or is it just
he ran it in.
This is just they can't comprehend it. So you almost feel bad for the haters, right?
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, some of them will convert into engagement. You want to hate. Mm-hmm. So more hate comments is more reason that Facebook and Instagram and these social media platforms will push the video. No matter what, they don't read the comments.
No.
You won't even engage with the haters. So
absolutely. If
someone is saying, oh, this guy's an idiot, you'd be like, oh, he's not an idiot. And then they're going to fight between themselves in the comments. And if you can almost start a mini war.
That is the algorithm. At first when I clicked this, I'm like, you know what? Leave it all there. I'm like, just leave it. The first I'm like, take it off. Then I talked to George Sleeve, and George's like, no, that's the best thing for you.
The best thing is
they're actually following you. And I go, oh my God, the guy's he's hating on me, but he's also following me. I ain't following him. He ain't writing my paycheck.
People say
what I mean?
Your haters are your biggest fans.
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe that. I looked at the thing and said, this guy's actually following me. So as soon as I started, like, yeah, oh yeah, definitely. But in the beginning with the bathroom thing, I'm like, I'm gonna do this one-day bathroom thing. At first, I didn't think it was gonna work, but then when I saw it was gonna work, I actually started running with it. And what I did was, I called the first big company. I won't say the name. I shot an email, and then they wrote back. They're like, hey, we already have somebody in your area. We're not interested at all. I said, hey, is there any way we just strike up a conversation, so have someone call me or let me call them? And they wrote back, no, we're good right now, but we'll keep your number on file. I wrote back, that's the biggest mistake you'll ever make, right? So, so then I went to the next company, and I flew out to their company, and the rep sucked. He took forever to get back to me. He was a jerk. I couldn't get a hold of him. So by the time I got out there, I flew out there. I sold a few of their bathrooms. I wanted to order them. I called the guy. I asked him for how do I order it? And just the support wasn't there. It took them 3 weeks to get back to me. I said, listen, I already switched the people from your product to another product and installed it, which the product I already know, which is tile. And then I reached out to Sammy Mueller, then the rep was happened to be Brian, and it was like maybe even a Saturday or night. It was like a not normal time, and he got right back to me instantaneously. Then I flew out to where their headquarters at, which is in the middle of nowhere. And then, but they put me up in this, they paid for it too, this golf course, which was crazy. And we were building everything up, and I'm like, where the hell are we at? And they treated you like gold, and then their training was great, and then their product looked really, really good, way better than all these other acrylic companies that, you know, the stuff bends with your hand, you know what I mean? It was more of like an engineered stone, thicker, beautiful product. And then we really hit it off. And then from there, you know, I started my journey, right? So I started, again, I'm like, hey, marketing, I never paid for marketing. It was all social media. And I built my company up just off of reputation, which, again, it can get you far, but it's going to take a lot of time. But it's good to have that, because if you have that part of it, you're never going to go out of business because you've already been doing it. Now, the scaling part of it, I realized it took money. But in the beginning, I'm like, oh, no, I'm not spending $3,000 or $4,000 on marketing. That's a lot of money. And in my head, I couldn't comprehend that you actually have to spend money to make money. So, and then once I started learning all the terms like ROAS is return on ad spend, and, you know, KPIs, key point indicators, and then, you know, all those different terms and all those different intricacies that say, hey, you got basic things. You got, for construction business, is easy. Set up your Google business profile. It's free, right? Utilize all your free stuff to the maximum capability. And how you do that is Google Business Profile will put a 10-mile radius around you if you're active with it, if people are giving reviews in that area. And they'll be able to know exactly who's writing the reviews, because this crazy thing is this thing tracks where you're at 24/7, listens to you, recites things. It knows more about you than you remember about yourself. So once you have that 10-mile radius, you know, then you go to another Google Business Profile. We'll talk about that after we stop taping. But that'll be like the behind-the-scenes stuff where, hey, that's how you get your stuff organic, right? Then you have Google Local Services. I don't know if you use it in your industry. It's really big in our industry, because what that is, that's a service that you can provide to a homeowner, as in junk removal, construction, kitchens, bathrooms. And then this way, it's a paid service, but it's really good because, you know, if you don't have a lot of employees, you have a call center, you have a dedicated marketing person, what they'll do is they'll automatically know if it's a good lead or a bad lead when they call you. They'll charge it, and then they'll credit you. Whereas if you do something like an Angie's List or one of those, if you don't tell them that it was bad, they may or may not give you credit. They definitely won't give you credit if you ask. But even if you ask, it follows certain stipulations to get that credit or not, or to get that refund or not. And then you got Google Pay-Per-Click. So Google Pay-Per-Click is the most expensive as anything. And it depends on whatever it is that you're doing. So you're going to compete against people with unlimited pockets, right? So who is that? That's going to be Home Depot, right? They got unlimited pockets. So if you're looking for something, trying to compete against them, they're going to drive that Google Pay-Per-Click number up. Windows, that's a number. It's not as high, but roofing, everyone's a roofer all of a sudden, right? You got all these PE companies, they're all roofers. So the number to click on that, you're competing with guys that are making a 7% profit margin, 6% profit margin because they can. We won't be able to survive that. And they're paying $1 million plus a month for marketing. Why compete? You got to find a different way. If everyone's going this way, left, you just got to find that right. You know what I mean? And whatever it takes to get that right, that's what you need to do. So I seen what you've been doing. Let's talk about a little bit what you've been doing marketing-wise to be able to stand out, as in, you know, spokespeople or...
So there is ways to, obviously, like we said, stand out organically, which is like free. So that's doing stuff on Google, you know, doing stuff on the website, doing stuff for organic SEO to be able to rank organically, not for free. So like how Sam mentioned, the local helps out when you have a local business, but when you're shipping nationwide across the United States, how are you coming up in, you know, Iowa? How are you coming up in North Carolina or Missouri or many of these random states? So pages on your website are free. You know, adding SEO, that stuff is free. It's a few YouTube videos and you can really become proficient in making a few solid pages that will rank. But I think the biggest, most slept on thing is organic content. You know, like that stuff is free and you can reach, you know, the entire goal, you know, from a video. You don't know what's going to go viral. So just putting out content every single day and putting out content every single day, you really don't know what's going to go viral. But if you don't look at the views and you don't look at the numbers every single day, but if you look, after 2 months, after 3 months, how many people did I reach? How many people did I reach after 6 months? If you stay consistent for that time, no matter what the industry is, even for your industry, if you start getting on content and even just giving educational videos, hey guys, I'm on site today at this house, this is what a job would typically cost, this is what we do, this is our services, just coming into the day in a life with you and your company, when most people, especially for like a service business, you're choosing, yes, the product that the company's offering you, but you're also choosing to work with the person behind that brand. Same thing with Sam. When someone is choosing Showcase Remodels or choosing Sam's business because he knows ultimately he's responsible for this job. So someone that can resonate with you or with you online and say, hey, I really like this guy and I'm resonating with him. I see him on my free page all the time. I want to show him my support and I want to give him my business, rather than just going on Google and searching some company up here. You don't know who this company is, some random guys answering the phone. But if I'm watching your TikToks almost every day, I basically almost know you now. So it's you're building a relationship and rapport with strangers that you have no idea who they are, but you feel almost so close to them because of how intimate you are with your content. Obviously, you don't have to show so much, but just being able to show the ins and outs and different types of categories, and obviously just being different. You can't post the same exact video every single day. It has to be sort of like a reality show. If you watch any TV shows, any episode, the same episode every single day, you're not going to watch it. You have to keep people on their toes. You have to make it exciting. You have to have people stay tuned, and giving away free products sometimes, giveaways, giving back to the community, those definitely help out all the time. It helps people resonate with what you're doing. And our biggest thing that we're getting leads on is Meta ads and Facebook ads, Instagram ads. That's like the biggest industry. I would like Google is massive. I would say like they do the same job, but where are 90% of their people spending their time today? Social media, scrolling on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on their stories. So that's where they are. And when a lead happens, most people start their journey on Google, right? So they say, oh, let me search for my furniture store near me. Oh, I see his website, see his store looks good, his reviews look good, but sometimes it's not enough to get that consumer confidence at like 100%. Then they need to double check me and say, let me check out his Instagram. Let me check out this. Let me check out this. Once everything checks out perfectly in that client's head, you have that sale, 100%. So even if they do call up the phone or if they walk into my store, they're basically sold already. They have the whole experience for them. But if they went on Instagram and you only had 1,000 followers, you don't really post much. The last post is from 2022. You have a few bad reviews. You lost that customer. But if you're able to capture them on Google, on Facebook, on Meta, and then they keep seeing your ads all the time, so even if they didn't convert into a sale, then you can keep retargeting them, and that's how ultimately everyone is a customer.
Absolutely. To add on the Google business page, the pictures. I used to put in pictures like every day, and that was like number one. So now I gave that to another person, but I got to start getting on him to get those pictures in there every single day. Yeah, because people like to see that, and Google likes to see movement.
Yeah.
So when you start to put movement in there, it starts to work out. And then the other thing is for the ChatGPT era. So they want to see a little more than that because they're extracting all their information from all these different sources. A lot of it is from Google. So when they do reviews, you got to say, the name of the company in the review, JSR, when I was in Pennsauken and they demoed. When you say those things, those three things, that's what starts to micro-target that on ChatGPT. So when they say, hey, I need a demo service in Pennsauken, that extracts it right out because it's actually the keywords you're hitting right away. So definitely look out for that. So as far as marketing, what kind of stuff do you do right now? What did you do to get it started? How did you learn to do what you're doing? What's working and what's not?
So, what we thought was going to work at first, we got a marketing team that was just a little bit here and there. We got up on Google, and we just started picking up our Instagram a lot more.
Sure.
We also found out about Thumbtack, about a few other places. I know this one guy, he had his own, I want to say, it was a recycling company. He had told me about a few other apps to try. We went ahead and started just applying everything onto those. For the most part, definitely been on Instagram a lot more because, like you said, pictures. I went on Google yesterday just to look up something to eat, and I just said, hey, went for reviews. Next thing you know, I had to look at pictures. Instagram, next thing they're gonna look at, like you said, same thing. So right now, I feel like for the most part, Instagram has definitely been one of the biggest things, and Thumbtack. You know, you just got to get those reviews replying fast. Like you said, when he had replied right then and there, that's what's going to get people, okay, hey, I like this guy. He's very reliable. Just trying to make sure we keep up on it.
Right, absolutely. So I think a good thing for you to network with would be title companies. So if you can get in with title companies, there are closings, and the next thing they do is they do demo and trash. So if you say, hey, look, work out some kind of deal mutually, and say, look, I'm going to come in here and get your trash out first day, or they give you a couple jobs, and then all of a sudden they have an issue with a client. Like realtors are great for this. Someone's moving out, and for whatever reason they forgot to throw out. They didn't forget, they just didn't do it. A whole bunch of things. You come in there and say, hey, give me so many, I'll do one for you for free. So now that they're holding credit with you, they gave you 4 or 5 referrals, and then hey, you got a box truck full of trash for them for one job. 2 things happen. Number 1, you're getting your name out there more. And number 2, you're building that relationship where they go, this is my guy. Just call this guy, he's gonna get it done. So the reliability, once you start to get in there with the referrals and your referral partners, that's like definitely the key to success. And that's easy money, and that costs you 0 marketing. Just a little bit of phone call here and there.
I went to a realtor the other day. I said, hey, I gave him my business cards. He said, okay, here you go. I'll give you my business cards as well. Building that relationship. You refer me, I refer you.
Absolutely.
Now you got people coming to each other. I went to another networking event right before I came to yours. I ran into a few different guys. I went to this remodeling guy. He does bathrooms and all that over deep in PA. He was there. He referred me to another guy who has his own company. He separated, and now we just get referrals from him, just help build that relationship. He actually just messaged me yesterday, we're going to sit there and help him out. Listen, it's all about those relationships and being, like you said, that's my guy right there.
Absolutely. That's good. That's good. So have you got into Google business page? You have that set up?
Yes.
Okay. And then what about the local services? You ever set that up?
Yes.
Okay. What have you found with that? Have you found it was good or bad? Or
for the most part, I want to say we're just trying to find the way to target the people who are looking for us the most.
You have a website?
Yes, we do. So
What are you doing?
right now, it got shut down, but we're trying to figure that thing out with our marketing team, because that marketing team, we thought that was going to be the way. It didn't work out. We want to just cut the ties with that relationship.
Got it.
I mean, listen, when you start a business, you have to be the man that does it all, right? So I'm the owner of the business, but I probably have like 30 jobs that I do myself. I do email marketing, I do the meta ads, I do content. I'm working on my website. There's so many different roles that you can take on, and today's like you can build a website in 5 minutes.
AI builds a website
with
for you.
AI, you can add SEO, great landing pages. So if you're making a page that says cheapest trash removal near me, trash removal in Philadelphia, trash removal Bucks County, trash removal New Jersey, making pages for every single state, every single county. Those pages will rank if it has good content in it. You put a map, put a few videos of yourself in there, a few things that will help rank on those pages, and you'll see results skyrocket for free.
Definitely.
I've been trying to also door to door. I felt like that was one of the biggest things I was nervous about when I started getting to it. I just started getting out there. I said, look, there's no one else that's going to get to this money. I got to go out there and go get it. Mm-hmm. So I started going door to door. I tried to figure out other ways on how to get those cards out there. To the mail post office. I figured out that, hey, you can start sending things through the mail. Just pay a certain amount through a month. Man,
direct mail definitely works too. And then you could target market your homeowner, right? New homeowners usually do the remodeling. You could get the list of who just bought a house and mail to those houses. There's so many different things you could do that way. And then like what he was saying, I think I showed you, right? The replacement ladder.
okay.
So the replacement ladder, like in the beginning, you have all the hats. You wear all the hats. And then as you start to grow the business, I like the fact that what you said, you need to learn it first, even if you don't become a master at it, because what you'll learn is you won't get taken advantage of when you do hire somebody, and you're going to know what they're actually looking for and what you're looking for in them to be able to get you to the next level. Because again, that's your money. You're investing in these people. Most of these marketers have no clue what they're doing. The only ones that I found that actually know what they're doing specialize in one thing and one thing only. So like when I look for a marketer, it's for bathrooms. I want to say, hey, how many kitchen companies you do? Or how many deck companies you do? Well, I do 7 deck companies. You're not my guy. But in my I don't say how many bathroom companies, because I'm going to say 10. I'm going to say how many deck companies? How many furniture stores you doing? Got 3. How many this you do? Well, you ain't my guy. Why? Because I need guys that are targeting just what I do all the time. Because again, this is a competition. This is a war out here. It's us versus them. And we're going to win every single time because I'm going to outwork every single person all the time. Like Saturday, I was talking to one of my guys, my sales guys. Lee came in. I scheduled for Sunday. He said, "You're never going to sell." No one in the industry books a job on Sundays. I've been doing Sundays my whole life. So I went out there and I go, "Hey man, I need a sample kit. I have no sample kit." So he goes, "Oh, there's an extra one upstairs. Got everything in it." Well, I should have checked. I usually check, but I was in a rush. So ran in, I grabbed the sample kit, and three of the samples aren't even ours. I didn't never even see them before in my life. It was one from Samuel Mueller. It was the Carrera, and I had my two new ones that I brought in myself. So went in there, sold the job, sold it way higher than my normal salesman sells it for, and told him, "Hey, I'll be here tomorrow." Because I sold only our in-stock stuff. He said, "You'll never sell our in-stock stuff. People always want something different." No, they do not. They want something that fits them in their home, and they want to know from me what I think is going to go good in their home. And you're the professional. So I got to tell them, "Hey, it's this one or this one. That's it." So the one I wanted to do, which was the butterscotch, I didn't have it, so I showed them a picture on my phone. Now, these other companies are coming in there real professional with every sample and an iPad. You don't need all that. All you need is a pen, so you can write it up, and a phone or a couple samples in your hand. That's it. So all these other things that they have, we have them. We have the presentation on the iPad. They're pretty, and yes, does it look professional? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, show up, speed the lead, have a strong presence, be able to be the leader in the industry, and don't be scared. You gotta be confident. And then once you're confident, you're gonna get the job. So sold that job on a Sunday, installed it yesterday. All done.
First rule of sales is they have to like you.
Yeah.
It's the first rule. Nothing else matters. No one buys anything from someone they don't like.
Exactly.
You would never buy a car from a salesman that you disgusted about. You would just leave and go to another dealer. Rule number one, they like you. Doesn't matter what you're selling.
Absolutely. And then you see companies that are doing revenue 5 times, 10 times the amount of what I do. So what do you see in those big, large firms? What do you see there?
Relentless. Being relentless. There is no tomorrow. It is a one-call close. It is a one-day install. These are the products that we offer. And the biggest thing in business, in all negotiation, the power to say no. When it is out of your scope and you are going to lose money, you have the power to say no. And it is the biggest power that you actually have. Least used.
That's my weakest point. So what I did, I did everything. So you said, "Hey, can you move me from this to this?" I'm like, "Yeah, we can do that." I rent a truck. I had nobody. I'm like, "We don't do no moving." So I call the truck. I'm like, "Okay, it's gonna be that." Call them. I'm like, charge by the hour. Cool, we got guys. We're moving. You know what I mean? I made money, but really, I lost my focus on, hey, I could have sold 2 bathrooms and made quadruple the money versus doing this move. But I was trying to be everything to everybody.
Right.
And then for me, it became, the revenue just wasn't where I needed to be. And it took me years to figure it out. And then I started doing a little bit of everything. And then at the end of the year, I'm like, well, I really need, I keep on saying it, I really need to figure out what's making me the most money so I can spend the most amount of time just focusing on that. Because what you focus on, again, is what you get. So if you're focusing on getting a bathroom, you get a bathroom. If you focus on doing a demo job, you're going to get the demo job. You're going to call the people that are in and out of houses all the time. The realtor's cool, but he don't sell that many houses a year, right? If he does 10, that's only 10 opportunities. You go to the title company, they're closing 2-3 deals every single day. So I'd be there almost every single day hanging out like, hey, what the hell's he doing here? Hey, I'm just here to hang out and learn. That's it. You know what I mean? And actually, what do you got for me? I have to have a realtor that you like, or I can call somebody and I'll be on the phone at the title company. Just hanging out. You know what I mean? You need me? No problem. Let me call the guys up. Boom, we're done. You know what I mean? We're already here. We're around. So when they see your presence around, that's another thing where you get more business. And that's the great thing about that. So when I first started, I would call people off the lawn sign. And I got my best customer, I learned the most, off the lawn sign. I think I was 19 years old. I called Just Finished Basements, had a cell phone number. I told him who I was. I said, yeah, I'm with this guy, Jamie Kennedy. He goes, oh, fuck you. I hate him. Blah, blah, blah. I hate the Kenny family. They're scumbags. They're always in jail. Blah, blah, blah. Hang on. I'm like, oh, I called him back. I'm like, oh, you never even met me before. I said, I said, Jamie's not a bad guy. Yeah, his whole family's always in and out of jail, but he's not a bad guy. I said, why don't you meet up with me? He said, no, I already met with him. I don't like him. I said, well, give me a shot. So anyway, I go out there, and I meet him. I started selling carpet and flooring for him. So he was probably the best basement finisher ever. He could do a basement in 2 weeks, done. No permits, but 2 weeks at the end of the job, I go in and do the carpet myself. Carpet and then tile, hardwood, laminate, whatever needed to be in the basement, I would do it. I would get it done. And I learned so much from him on how to push the guys, how much guys can really get it done in a day versus if they're just hanging around, and the process. Everything has a process. You know, you have to take the first thing and get this done before you do the second thing. And if you do the third thing before the first thing, you're going to mess the whole job up. And then once you know that process, it's like anything else, like a menu or like an ingredient, like recipe. Just follow that order, and then you'll be able to get faster and faster and more efficient at it and make more and more money. So he had it down to a science. So I learned probably the most from that guy out of anybody I've ever worked for before in my life. And we had that long-standing relationship. And even after, like to this day, if a customer calls me and it's from him, I'll call him, hey, you want me to add money on, or hey, you want me not work for him? Because I won't. If he says, yo, don't work for a guy, I don't like him, no problem, done. I don't need him, I don't need his money. So I'll just say, no, I'm going to pass on your job. No big deal. Like, really? No, yeah, I'm good. Like, I don't need it. Call somebody else. And that's how I feel like those long-lasting relationships definitely worked out for me in that instance. And then when I see like these other companies, I see their marketing money and their marketing budget's a lot more than mine. But that's okay, because I'm going to find a different way. Because again, these guys that call them Titanics, they're easy to shoot down, right? Because they're so big and open and so many opportunities. Yes, they run a tight ship, but if you're that sailboat, you're the guy that can go, you know what, I can adapt to change. I know something's not working. Like a PE company, they get stuck in, oh my God, it worked before I bought it, now I bought it, now it's not doing the numbers again. What do? They just start cutting people off into a point where,
Close it.
that's it, lock it up, we're done, we're going bankrupt. And you see those big PE companies doing $1 billion a year, next year all of a sudden, out of business. So then you see all the employees. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing, but you see them all hurting for work. I mean, a big $1 billion company closed about a month ago, and I probably got 11 or 12 calls from people from like Massachusetts, which I'm like, hey, how did you even get my number? Like, oh, we need work. I just moved here from Florida to Massachusetts. I just had a baby. I was supposed to get a promotion. They promoted me on Wednesday, and they told me we're done on Thursday. What do I do now? Like, holy cow. Another guy sold, he had $40,000 coming to him. But since they closed, the jobs ain't getting done, he's got $0. Because again, PE's great, it sounds cool, but at the end of the day, they're all in it for the numbers. They don't care about the employees, they'll cut your neck for a penny. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that now. In the beginning, that's what I want to do. I was like, I'll build it to sell it, right? And then when I started doing it, I'm like, well, once you do that, it's going to, everyone that you just took care of and helped you get to that point, you just cut their heads off. So for me, I don't think I'm down for that.
Not yet, at least.
yeah, I think I got a little time in there. But yeah, it's definitely fun. And then with Jordan, what I want to do is a couple things. Kind of come up with a revolutionary product that I learned from another guy who he said when he did it, it failed. But again, I'm one of those people, you tell me it fails, I'm still going to keep working until it makes sense.
Gonna figure it out.
Right?
Somehow.
Oh yeah. I think Albert Einstein, was it Albert Einstein? Who invented the light bulb? Was it Ben Franklin?
Edison.
Edison? It was either Edison or Franklin. Either way, they said, listen man, you failed over 5,000 times. He said, you're going to keep going? He goes, you know what? You know what that is? That's 5,000 ways it didn't work. I'm going to find a way it works. And after 11,000, he actually nailed that thing, and that's why he is where he is today. But what I want to do is build these, it's a rack, it'll be pretty much in the front, it'll be, let's see if I can find one. It's a kitchen, bath, roof, siding, window display, just like this. I'll show you guys in a second. So it's a shower on the one side with cameras on it, like a Ring doorbell. This is the part you didn't get. So I can see the people when they come up to the thing, and then have an iPad there so they can book the appointment right online on Go High Level, and we'll talk about that in a minute. CRMs. The kitchen on the other side, and then like a window or some staples.
Crazy.
So that's the size, very small. Goes right in the front door. So it's 34 inches wide, 43 total, and then something like that.
It's a mini kiosk.
Yeah, and then obviously you got to take care of people, take care of you. any appointment booked so much money to the company, and then every job sold so much money to his company. And then vice versa, when we have customers that come in, like today, we have a customer coming in, and it happens every day. And guess what? It costs me no money, only because I built the relationships up. So I did one guy. He was pretty big, high up in Camden County. He's retired now. He's got a house that fully flooded out, everything, laundry room, bathrooms, kitchens, and then that mold storage. So they threw out furniture, all that stuff. So at 2:30, she's coming in. I told her, you don't have to worry about nothing. I'll handle everything. She said, what do you mean? I said, all the construction, all the rebuild, all the processes, and at the end I'll have all those measurements. I'll send it over to our furniture store, and then they'll have a package together for you, already ready to go, where you can go pick it out. And she goes, you guys, I never even heard anybody that does this. I said, oh yeah, well, I'm not done yet. I'm going to build a customer profile and builder trend for you with all your selections, and you're going to come into our showroom, pick everything out for your home, and then when you're done, it's all there for you, along with the schedule, so you can see everything with the dates and who's going to be there all the time. So even if you're not there, you know who's there, and you know things are getting done. And guess what? If it gets delayed, no big deal. All you do is you hit a button, pushes everybody back automatically sends all of my subcontractors a text, and we're good to go. And that's like the growth phase. It's like, hey, trying to get to that next level of the execution or delivery of the product. And then for you guys, for CRMs, I don't know what you use, but I use Builder Trend was my main one until I started something that's like a one day. Builder Trend's way too big for that. So it's not really good with that. So what I did is I switched it up with Go High Level. You ever hear of that? No. Okay, I'll show you that. So that's going to be, for you at your level, it's perfect. And the reason it's perfect is all your social media stuff is going to get filtered into one spot. You'll be able to respond from one spot. If you're not available, your partner's there, the partner can pick it up and take it. If that's not available, you have an AI agent start to try and sell it called CloseBot. So it's going to try and sell your services right there on the spot and book you guys. And then, it keeps going. So, and then you'll have like an email newsletter for all your customers. You'll shoot them out. You'll have text message campaigns that shoot them out. It's got all your customers in there. You'll be able to, they have like a bidding software. I don't know how you bid right now, but it's not really that good. So we use another program for that. But I'm about to switch up to the big boys because I figure, hey, bullets before cannonballs. So now I'm using like the bigger boys, which are, hey, these prices are now locked in, which you don't want to do that yet. You guys aren't at that level. But once you have salesmen and you don't really know them and you're doing it at volume, you got to have something that they can't hurt you. And what that is I have price locks. So now they can't go under a certain price. They just get stuck there. And they have to call like a supervisor if they're, they want to try and go lower than a certain number. And it's just not happening. But that's called Leap. That's like Sales Pro. It's very expensive, very clunky, very hard to use. But once you have it, it's like, hey, you just pick these certain things. Prices are locked. Show the people. That automatically goes into our other program, which is Market Sharp. We're going to launch all those two programs January 1st, and everything comes into one program there. And what that does, it tells me all my numbers real time, like a company health check. So all my numbers will be right there on the board all the time, every avenue. So my Google local services, my Angie's, my Thumbtack, all those different revenues, home shows, all that fun stuff. And then we just hired our first, I'm not going to say real operations manager for the one-day bathroom. He came from Bath Fitter and another PE company. He had 21 years with Bath Fitter, and then he was doing sunrooms, so I have him now. So that's my goal, to double my revenue for 2026 just in the one area, the bathroom area. And then in addition to that, for 3 years I've been also trying to figure out how to get some materials over here. So finally I have my materials, just a couple, so that we have our own name, because again, everyone has their own stuff, like these big billion-dollar companies, and they will do nothing for a smaller company. So now what I want to do for like smaller companies that specialize in the bathroom, give them like territories for that product only, and then this way at least they have something now that they can say, we got our own stuff too. Because it ain't fair when you have $1 billion, you can take care, but if you're only trying to build your company up, you can't have nothing. So screw them, I'll do my own thing, and here you go. Now it's a level playing field. So that's what it's all about.
Listen, I don't know.
Oh yeah. We'll go over to the next thing, sales. So what do you do for your sales team? Is there a meeting? Is there, do you work off of EOS?
Sales are a little bit different, right? You have sales in the store and you have sales online.
Got it.
So sales in the store, the salespeople are trained obviously to sell the furniture in the store, sell our catalogs, what we have and what we're not offering. But most importantly, it's the way that we like to do it is breaking it down from, it's really different for every industry, but like it's super easy when you break it down, especially in terms of furniture. Like if someone is looking for a sectional, there's multiple types of sectional. So as long as you can narrow down and not give them the least amount of options. So if we say, hey, I'm trying to sell this product, but I have 30 different colors, which one do you want? Now you're confusing the customer. There's too many options on the table. So if someone says, hey, I'm looking for a sectional, the way that we break it down is, okay, what fabric are you looking for? You're open to leather, or you're open to, velvet, or any, I'm open to this, but I definitely don't want leather. Okay, that probably took off 10,000 options for us. So now we can just narrow it down to the smallest point of what they want, if there's a price point in mind, if there's a budget in mind, and then we can give them the package that we have. So for any package, in sales, we like to always offer a good, a better, and a best. So if someone's interested in a mattress, here's a low end, here's a medium end, here's a premium brand, right? So being able to give the customer at least a few options so they can ultimately make that decision themselves. We never want to make a client feel like they have been sold. They want them to have say in what they're choosing and have actually walk out saying, hey, I made a good decision and I'm happy with the purchase that I made. Online, it's a little bit of a different story when someone is just shopping. They're typically knowing what they're looking for and they're trying to find it. So sales come in all day without us even speaking to clients. But a lot of the digital sales that we're working on are, through our social media channels, people DMing, people commenting. And it's a stupid comment. Someone saying, what's the link to this rug? What's the link to this coffee table? It's annoying to answer all these comments, but, you give them the link and a few days later, we'll buy it. Sometimes people in the chat, if they're messaging us on the chat bot on our website, it's really the only way to win is instantaneous feedback, right? So if someone is on a product and they're asking, do you guys have a return policy? How long does it do? Do you guys return it if it's damaged? If you answer their question immediately, 9 times out of 10, they're going to buy it. People always want a discount, so discounts are always great. Not that we jack our prices up to offer discounts. I offer my prices at the lowest rate and still give a discount, but being able to have discount tiers, loyalty programs for returning customers that are coming back, that's the biggest spend for us. When people come back, they know that they're in good hands. They know that they're getting a good deal. We're in the industry ourselves, so you know about your industry, but I don't know about your industry. You don't know about my industry, right? So we know about it so much that when someone is shopping for furniture, they have no idea whether they're being scammed, whether they went to Ringward Flanagan, whether they went to Ashley. What is the industry price for this sofa, right? So there are industry prices for everything. I can't sell this couch for $50,000 just because I said so. This is an Ashley couch. It's worth a certain dollar. So being able to be transparent and selling at a reasonable price, I think that's the most important thing. And again, just building relationships. As to strengthen what Sam said, that is the most important part. Customers returning is a majority of our business, right? We obviously have new customers walking in every single day, but the biggest spenders are the customers that are coming back time and time after again. I'm coming back for my kid, I'm coming back for my daughter, I'm coming back for my wife, my mom. So those are definitely the biggest tickets for us, is being able to reinforce the returning customers, offering a CRM platform to being able to reach these customers and sending them these deals, sending them SMS blasts, sending them email marketing blasts when we have, July 4th sale or any other sale or newsletters and weekly reports. People are interested and they always are looking to get a deal. No one wants to pay full ticket for anything. I don't care how rich you are. People want a good deal.
Oh yeah.
And that's the most important thing. So people always, a lot of people want to, shoot for the stars and sell for the highest tickets, but, if you can sell for a reasonable price, no matter what the ticket price is, most people will end up going to your company if you can give them a reasonable price. Show them, hey, this exact iPhone is being sold at this store for $3,000. It's being sold at this store for $3,500. I'm selling it for $2,500. We show customers in our store, here's what Ashley's selling it for. Here's what Ringward Flanagan is selling it for. So that's a pretty easy sell right there when you're saying, hey, we don't hold the customer. If you want to check out the stores, feel free. Please, the door is open for you. We're always here. You want to come back and get this price? It'll still be here for this price. And most people that leave the store, I would say over 90% of these people are coming back or they're buying right on the spot once we show them that extra step and say, hey, here's what this guy's selling it for, here's what this guy's selling it for. I'm doing the math for them because I know that they want to price check. People price check all the time. There's systems and plugins that you can have on your website that will show you 50, 60 different websites that are selling your product for the same, for lower than you, for higher than you. But when you're selling the same product as 50, 100, a million other people, why would someone choose me to buy that product, right? Everyone sells Ashley. There's probably 30,000 furniture stores in America that are selling the same couch. but they're buying it with me, not for the brand, they're buying for our experience that we're offering them, the service that we're offering them, the comfortability, the confidence that, hey, I'm allowing these drivers to enter into my home. This is something personal. I don't just want anyone coming into my house, especially if it's a few-day job like how you guys are. There's personal belongings in their home, there's children in their home, so being able to have a trustworthy company that people can time and time again rely on working with, ultra-high clients, he has the experience. These people want that extra experience. They don't want most people knowing where they live and having, even the team members. I'm not on every single delivery, but they know that my team will act the same way as if I'm there. That is the most important thing, I would say.
It goes back to that relationship, make them feel like they're getting a deal. They're like, okay, I'm more inclined to come back to you every single time.
Absolutely.
I never oversell either. That's also like a key thing that I tell to any of my salespeople. Like, we have the best deals, we have the best furniture. Do not oversell. Do not overstep. If someone doesn't want it,
They like you, they trust you, they buy from you.
Yeah, I feel like if you push someone in something, they'll buy it, they'll never come back again. It was a weird experience for them. Some people they do it because, they feel that pressure, and they crack under pressure. They're like, I don't like it. But, again, experience is everything. The other thing is, you're talking about what we call a kill book. So a kill book is, hey, I know the pricing for everyone else's company. It's XYZ. And they'll say, well, I wanted to get 7 other estimates. I'm like, 7, really? So what are you looking for? Like the best deal, like a chuck in the truck? Or are you looking for somebody that's going to be solid, give you the best, for your investment, you got the best deal. So I feel like we're the best value. We're definitely not the most expensive. We're definitely not the cheapest. We're right there in the middle. And then they'll say, hey, I'll say, what company did you call? They'll say this. No problem. Guess what? I have their estimates right here. This is what they look like. And this is ours. And then, hey, and they say, you know what? I just want to get 2 other estimates, blah, 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 just to see if I could be cheaper. Okay, here's what we'll do. I have a 30-day price match guarantee. That if you find someone with a similar product for a similar price and a similar size company, we'll match that, and you will have no issue at all. And then this way, you're doing it there. Because again, like what he said, once you roll out, you're dead, right? That salesman's dead. I want to think about, well, what is there to think? You thought about having me out here, right? You thought about those other guys coming here. You thought that you needed a bathroom. What's the reason you need a bathroom? It's leaking. You don't want to think too long because now you got mold. You know what I mean? You want to have something firing off that.
That's not a want, that's a need.
That's absolutely. Yeah, because again, like you said, customer comes in, what are they doing? I'm going to greet them. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I'm looking for furniture. Well, what color palette you like? I always say earth tone, or do you like the gray, more modern? And then let them tell you. Say, okay, you like leather, or do you like something plush? And then they'll say that. And then in my head, I already have those 3 or 4 picked out, and then I'll usually have an ugly one, like the ugliest one you possibly think of. And then this way, I call it a throwaway. So they go and they go, well, definitely not that one, but this, and this. You know what I mean? And I always say, hey, the one that's usually the nicest or the most expensive, they're going to go there anyway and say, yeah, that's great, but I don't know if you have the budget for that, or if you want that, because this one is this price, usually the best value and the most profit margin anyway, and it's literally a half the price of the other one from whatever company that you have. Like, I don't know, the first time I went in and bought furniture from him, that was a story in itself, which we'll talk another time. But I was like a guy, like I knew my numbers down to the penny. Like, well, I know your multiplier is this and this and this, and I said, I got the cash right here. We either do it or we don't. And we did it. So from there, that was my guy. So I guess building that up, learning the different sales, and learning how to understand the client, because the client's going to tell you how they want to be sold if you're willing to listen to them. If you're running the thing and say, if you're always the best, because remember, everyone's going to be the best. I'm the best at demo, I'm the best price, I'm the best no, it's, what is it that you're looking for? Well, look, whatever that case may be, hey, they might be a little older, I've been here for 35 years, I'm moving into a retirement community, I wanted my stuff to go to a good home, but no one really wants it because it's outdated from 37 years ago. So I just want to get rid of it in a good, timely manner, and then have my house, so it's not getting nicked up around the door, blah, blah, blah. Okay, listen, Mrs. Smith, here's what we got. I put rubber guards around both sides of your front door. I tape off the bottom of your door from there 4 feet up. I basically put mats on your house from when I walk in the door, and we also wear booties on top of that. And then I have a customer, another company that comes in and does all the cleaning after we're all done. And they'll go, holy crap, they're amazing. And then they say, well, this is the price. Well, that's a lot for me. I understand it is, but you understand what type of company we are. We're doing 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of everyone else. So listen, if you have a cleaner, I can save you some money. Where do you want to be at? Now all of a sudden you price condition them at that highest number, not the lowest number. Because again, if you're doing the lowest number, well, there's another guy down the street, he's gonna beat you by 50. There's gonna be another guy beating you by 150. Forget about it, that's called the race to the bottom. Just hold your ground, say, hey, this is a top-notch service, top-notch price. We have the best guys in the industry, they wanna be here, they wanna perform for you the best as possible. And then once you get that, they're gonna go, I'm really confident with these guys. And then, they're either gonna lock it up right there or go, hey, I called this other company and they're $2,000 cheaper, what can you do? Nothing. I could take off the cleaner. Yeah. Take off the cleaner, it's $800. Would I do it for you? Yep, do it, lock it up, done. We'll be there next Tuesday. Send me a deposit. Out. You know what I mean? I'll do that every single day.
It's also honesty, I would say, is like a huge thing. A lot of salesmen are liars. A lot of people manipulate people, especially when it's in an industry where you have no idea where you're going. Many girls, they go to an auto body shop, repair shop. The guy tells them, listen, you need an oil change, your filter is fucked up, this is broken, this is damaged. Like, I'm not big into cars, so if a guy tells me all these things are wrong with my car, I'm smart enough to say, okay, let me talk to someone that I actually trust because I have no idea what this guy is saying.
Yeah.
But most people that they don't have that person that they can reach out to just to double check them, so for example, for you, you're dealing with leaks, you're dealing with mold. These are actually, very, very harm things that can, almost kill someone, they're very dangerous. So being able to be transparent and being honest, I would definitely say is the most important thing so the client can trust you to say, hey, listen, you have about 48 hours to get this done. We're not putting you in a race, but just for your health reasons, this is something that, we're offering to you. Obviously, we like to offer, a sense of urgency in our sales too. So, hey, the sale will only last 48 hours. If you don't want time to think about it, we're still going to be here. So you don't want to give them, hey, I need to know within the next 5 minutes or you're leaving. Still, hey, go home, take time to think about it, you have 48 hours. So a 48-hour flash sale, but that little sense of urgency is also really important. Obviously, in your case, it's not a need like for furniture. You're more of a necessity, but that urgency and that honesty and transparency, I would say, beats everything. So once that client really trusts you, whatever you tell them, this is your industry. I'm calling you for advice. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
The customer wants authenticity. They don't necessarily want the truth. They just want the person telling it to them that they believe that person believes. Yeah. It's an authentic answer.
I like when I can get on the phone with somebody and he'll be like, listen, I'm keeping it real with you. This, that, and the third, be honest, make them feel close to you, You want to build a great relationship, so that, you want them to like you enough to be like, hey, listen, you know what? I got this guy. I went to another event. He said, listen, when you build that relationship, it's hard to break that relationship and try to go with other people who you may possibly be like, I don't like this guy. Once you build that relationship with somebody who you love to go back to every single time, it's hard to break that.
Absolutely. So I guess we'll end this with our goals for next year. I'll start it off. My goals would be to capitalize on what I built over the last couple of years. Take that from that 30 bathrooms. If I can get to 45 bathrooms a month, that'll be what my goal is. I think it's very doable. I already know what the numbers are. I know how much money, almost to the penny, I need to put in to be able to get that 45 number out, and how many salesmen I need. So again, everything's working backwards. So if I say, hey, I want to make 10 million gross, I need to have this many sales because I know what my medium sales number is, and then from there I need to know how many salesmen I need to achieve those at a 40% close rate, and then how many leads that the call center needs to generate or my avenues of marketing need to generate to be able to get those appointments, to get it at home, to be able to make those sales, and everything works that way. So once you get that flow, that's where we're at, and I think it's very, very doable. And it's just like, hey, sometimes you press on that gas pedal really, really hard on your marketing dollar, and then sometimes you relax it off, and then eventually I want to find that sweet spot where, hey, maybe I'm doing 80 bathrooms a month, or because my goal is 100. Maybe I'm doing 80, but I'm making the most profit. Because again, that profit is vanity, and the revenue sanity. Don't worry about that high number. Just worry about what you're actually holding on to, what you actually retain in money-wise, because that's what you're getting taxed on anyway, and that's what you're going to be able to reinvest in your company and different things to be able to make money while you're sleeping. How about you?
Just to scale, continue scaling each division. We have, a few different, besides from residential furniture, we're doing B2B, which hotels, rehabs, halfway houses, restaurants. So just offering, a lot of different products towards the B2B side of our business. We definitely want to expand to different markets. We're really looking into the South Florida market, different markets, in America, wanting to scale more digitally, online, really, really new, fresh concepts for 2026 of social media. So really excited just to implement all these ideas and, keep partnering with great vendors, great relationships, and keep scaling the business one day at a time.
Absolutely.
Definitely, I'll say same thing. We want to keep scaling. Listen, I want at least 5 leads a week every single day that we actually complete, jobs. I want those leads to turn into jobs. I want to, my goal for the year, I have a specific goal for the year, but it keeps changing because I keep telling myself, listen, we can do this. This is going to happen. We're going to make sure this works because, listen, like you said, if you keep putting that foot on the gas, at some point, you're going to get there. You keep hesitating, you fall back, say, hey, listen, I might not be able to do it. You know what I mean? Some people start their business, they get going and they say, oh my gosh, I fell off, things aren't working well. Listen, you're definitely not going to get there if you quit. So, listen, just scaling more leads, more people, more contacts, networking with a lot more people I want to walk into. I want to come into more rooms like this, more networking events. I want at least 3 or 4 or 5 networking events a month to get to, meet more realtors, more remodelers, all that.
Beautiful.
I just want to be vain. I'm going to double my sales. I'm going to stay on track to fire off and retire. That is what I'm going to do.
Well, thank you guys. Come on the Relentless Podcast. I'll make sure that we drop all your links on the bottom. So check it out and stay tuned for the next one. Cool. I'll let you turn it out.